I didn't like how my drawings look in Revit. There were usually double lines within walls, and the outlines of the elements were not that clear. So I found that Revit 2025 introduced something called Auto Join, which works well for walls, but it doesn't join any other category like floors, columns, and so on. So I made a small Revit button to join elements by views in Revit. I really like that I can select multiple views to join the elements, but also define the joining order, which category cuts which other. So let's jump into Revit. I'm going to cover two examples. In the first one, I will show you the basics on how to join and get rid of, for example, these lines within walls, these lines between two different floors, or how to get a clear outline of this join and join all the elements within there. And in the second use case, I will show you something a little bit more advanced on how to define cutting priorities, like for example, when a column cut a wall and which elements should cut each other, as well as solve other specific issues like when two walls do not join in the same view. So for the first case, I'm just gonna go into join views. Let me get the window from here. And then the first thing is I need to select the view I want to join. If I select ground level, what this is gonna do is gonna get all the elements that are shown in this view and it's going to join them. So I could instead select this option, and with this option I could just select the elements in Revit and join by selection. But I prefer to join by view, so I join all the elements in the view. Then the other option is the categories to join. Here, for example, if I don't want to join floors, if I want to keep these lines over here, I could just uncheck it. Or walls as well, I could uncheck it. But I'm just gonna keep the default check. Let's just run. Great. So as we see, like all the lines that were here has disappeared. Also the lines within within floors, and also like the joints that we had here. But we see that, for example, this column over here is being cut by the wall. And this is because the cutting priority is not well set up. So I'm going to show you in the second use case how to set the cutting priority right so you get the proper intersection. So in the second use case, we see that we also have some column over here. So before starting the video, I actually set them the categories. So to access them, you just need to click in this two arrow, and then you will get this window. Basically what I did is I put walls on top of everything. And that's why the walls in the first view cut the column. But they, by default, the tool do not have this order. By default, the walls are like, I think, kind of here. So if you want to get the default settings, you can just click here. We see that the walls are just underneath the column, which makes sense because usually like the columns in buildings are kept and the walls adapt to them. So if you want the walls to be cut by the columns, instead of like this case to have the column per surface safe, so you just need to put the columns on top of the walls. So the higher the position of the category, the higher the priority. So I think that's pretty clear. The configuration is auto save, so any change that you make here is going to be auto save, so you can make changes and then just close. Great. So let's just mark the floor plan I want, and then let's run. We see now that the join with the column is different. As I set the priority, we see that now the column per surface is safe, but we still have the clear outline. But we see that, for example, there are some walls like over here that has not joined. If this happened to you, this may be related because the walls do not actually intersect. So if you just enlarge them a little bit, this will make the work. Great, so I think it's pretty clear. So I think it's pretty helpful when you have your views ready to print and you still have some lines lying around between floors and walls and so on, and it gets clearer drawings and more beautiful drawings. So I hope you find it helpful, and thanks for watching. Bye bye.